Oh, hello there. I'm Archibald Bladius Mansfield III, and this is Knife Show and Tell. All right, welcome to another Blade Show and Tell. We just got back from the 2015 Blade Show in Atlanta. We spent a lot of money on custom knives, won some great lotteries, and we're going to show you just a few of those today. So we got Jake, our production manager. He's going to take the reins and show us some of these knives. So what do you got for us, Jake?
Let's start out with some classics from Greg Lightfoot. Greg Lightfoot is one of the pillars in the community. He's been around for a long time. You can find some of his production stuff through HTM, Microtech, and one of my favorites, the classic LCC from Microtech knives. But here we have just a few examples of some of the fine work you can expect from Greg. This model is called the Ground Fighter. All of Greg's stuff is very well executed. I mean, he's been doing this a long time, so you can always expect the best from him.
I was talking to him, and he talks about how he always goes for the highest materials, just
doesn't
stuff.
skimp on
Not
anything. And design. I mean, these ones are particularly unique. Here we have some marbled carbon fiber, which may be my favorite carbon fiber, and what looks like
a Damascus bolster. I think that's what he has on those.
Cool Damascus bolster that's pretty deeply etched.
And he's got some fun blade shapes. It's the swedges. I was again talking to him. That tends to be kind of a unique signature for him.
Yeah. Both of these, actually all three of these, kind of have a unique swedge on them. Another marbled carbon fiber with some Mokutai bolsters.
Beautiful look.
Yeah, can't go wrong with a Greg Lightfoot. Next up, we have some knives from Andre Forburn and Andre Van Heerden, also known as A2.
A2, two A names.
Yep, it's a little collaboration they've done. This particular knife is called the A3. Now, if you are unfamiliar with their knives, these are two South African knife makers that make probably one of the smoothest flippers around. I don't know if you've had a chance to play with these.
I have played with them, yeah.
It's almost impossible not for it to open. That's how smooth it is. And it's always fun to get stuff from them. This is one of their newer models, which features some cool stuff. I really like how they've done this G10 color G10 inlay in the standard G10
and there's
handle.
A couple different colors. What do we have?
This one's a green.
There's an
orange,
and a red or a yellow one. I believe. Yeah.
There's a variety. Attention to detail, phenomenal. This back spacer is very nicely done. This is a liner lock, titanium liner lock. But yeah, one of our favorite scores from the show for sure. Next up, we have a knife from Richard Rogers. Now, Richard Rogers has been making knives for a while. He's a full-time rancher in New Mexico, and then he also makes knives. For the most part of his career, he was making traditional folders, but he recently has gotten into some more modern, tactical-looking knives. This one is called the 4F from Richard, and we picked this up in a lottery. His stuff is pretty highly sought after. I'm particularly drawn to his stuff because of the lines. He's got this really cool sweeping line that travels through the middle of the knife. Got these screws here that line up, and it's almost like it's probably is hollow ground, if you could call that hollow ground on a handle. But it gives it kind of a unique look, for sure. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Richard Rogers knives, you should. He's got some other cool designs as well besides this one.
Yeah, a very functional one too for a custom piece, I have to say. Sometimes you get more into the art style.
Yeah.
And this one's just a clean, well-working knife.
Something you would be afraid to carry in your pocket and use.
Yep.
Next up, we have a knife from Stephen Kelly. Stephen Kelly is not only an accomplished knife maker, he's also a machinist and produces quite a few parts for the knife industry. A lot of titanium parts like pivots and spacers and things like that. This particular knife is a nice little flipper. The blade is Chad Nichols Damascus. Overall, really fun piece. This was another lottery pickup that we acquired at Blade Show this year.
And you know how he's getting the color out of that? on the handle.
So this is looks like mokutai, and I don't know the exact process. I'm sure it involves some heat, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's got a nice fade to it. Kind of changes depending on the direction of the light.
Yeah, it's a very fun knife to look at
Yeah.
from a lot of different angles.
Yeah.
And very smooth too. He's rounded all the edges
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Very clean feel.
Again, Stephen Kelly. The next two knives are from Jeff Simmons of Aegis Knife Works. Jeff has been making knives just part-time for a few years now. And this is the Xiphos and the Mini Xiphos. Jeff, great guy, great to work with, and he's actually coming out with a mid-tech of his Hoplite, which is another model that he does. So if you are unable to score one of his custom knives, look out on our site because we will have his mid-tech coming up soon. Great attention to detail on both of these knives. Nice little features like the titanium hardware, titanium over travel stop.
I love the two-tone with the Damascus on the standard size, and then again, the little bushing around the pivot.
Yeah, those pivot collars are a nice little feature. Yeah, some mokutai on the back side. So yes, Jeff Simmons with Aegis Knife Works. The next two knives are from custom knife maker Jayco Beck out of Idaho. We have the A8 and the A15. Jake has been making knives for quite a while now. We've seen his mid-tech Quayback come through with great success, and we were lucky enough to pick up a couple customs from him this year at Blade. Jake is very accomplished, very good at what he does. He's come up with some innovative things like the Hoback rolling detent. The detent's actually adjustable, so depending on how tight you like your detent, you can adjust that. And yeah, just the level of craftsmanship that goes into each one of these. The pocket clip, the backspacer here with this nice integrated lanyard loop.
I love this. It reminds me of like a Zen garden with the millwork and
Yeah.
just the ridges and stuff, like this flowing of sand. It's great.
Yeah, he does some great work. So we will have some of his new mid-tech Quayback coming hopefully within the next month or so. So take a look on our site for those. Here we have another offering from Microtech, Tony Marfione, and this is a collaboration with famed Japanese knife maker Koji Hara. This knife is called the Closer. It's a titanium frame lock and has a very cool kind of bamboo pattern on the handle. If you've ever handled a Marfione custom, you know the amount of work that goes into each one of these. This one has a very nice bag style pocket clip with the ceramic bearing there on the end. And something else that's kind of unique to some of Tony's work is this frame lock. The lock bar is actually removable, replaceable, and if you can look down inside there, you can see how they've done that. It's kind of a cool feature. I also like the detail here on the back spacer.
Yeah, really nice tolerances, very smooth on the custom Marfiones.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for this. I'd like to even see a production version of this one as well. Tony Marfione and Koji Hara. This next piece is from the Marfione family. This is Tony's son TJ, Heretic Knives. This knife is called the Hydra, new offering from them. You'll obviously see some cues of other Microtech knives like the Halo, but this one has some unique features. The first thing you may notice is this little cover. One issue people have with some of their single action out the front knives like the Halo is they're afraid of it going off in their pocket. So they've come up with this spring-loaded cover that kind of covers the button, so if it's in your pocket it's not going to go off, but at the same time it's easy to deploy by pushing it to the side.
Yeah, kind of a cool
firing
safety on it.
Yeah. So something new that we've never seen before in the knife world. And then this pocket clip's pretty unique as well.
It's like the double bag.
Yeah, very cool. And let me retract this. Just the amount of work that goes into each one of these is pretty crazy.
Yeah, really good looking charging handle on that one.
So we're excited for TJ and his latest endeavor. TJ will be based out of Florida. But yeah, I think we'll see some cool stuff coming out from him. Next up, we've got a knife from Michael Raymond. Michael Raymond is a machinist by trade. You may notice he's heavily influenced by one of his good friends, Scott Cook, who does some similar integral knives. So, integral knives at this point, I mean, it's nothing new, but very few people can do it to the level of exactness and just the execution as Michael. This knife, and just talking to Michael and the amount of work he puts into each one of these is pretty astounding. And he doesn't make a lot of knives. I mean, so if you're able to score one of his, it's kind of a big deal, just because he'd rather focus on one and put the time and attention necessary into it. But yeah, just a fun piece all around.
Yeah, I mean, even the thumb stud, it's like a Damascus. I mean, it's just amazing looking in there. And obviously a solid piece of titanium for the handle.
Yeah. I mean, I have no idea how he does that, but it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's gorgeous, streamlined, no extras.
Yeah,
that's needed on it.
The Damascus on the thumb stud and then the pivot collar. Great work from Michael. Here I've got two examples of flippers from Mark Nevling of Burr Oak Knives. Mark's been making knives, I think, since the early 80s. Mark also does a lot of his own Damascus. In this example, you can actually see he does some pretty intricate patterns, and he also does images. So this one has, a skull on the bolster, and then if you look on the blade, I don't even know how he does that.
Yeah, I was wondering that
wild.
too, if it was laser etched or not, but it's amazing.
So I mean, Mark's known not only for his folders, but also he makes a great fixed blade. And yeah, I just like his work. It's something a little bit different than what you see out there.
Very beefy knives too. Like you feel them. They're in your hands. Yeah. I mean, you're gonna feel them in your pocket, but they're really distinct as well.
Yeah, they're well built, heavy, solid knives. And I mean, I like his use of materials. He mixes things up a little bit. This one has kind of a carbon fiber with a
lightning strike in there almost.
Well, it's not lightning strike. It's almost like a gold weave of some sort. I'm not sure what he calls it. But yeah, I mean, his bolster works. It's great. Use of carbon fiber. And of course, a lot of his own Damascus that he makes himself. So, I mean, doing Damascus by itself is a pretty big deal, like a pretty big accomplishment. But to be able to make your own Damascus and to make your own knives, yeah, he's very good at what he does.
All right, so those were just some of the custom pieces that we have. There's always a big turnover, so make sure that you check out what we have available right now by clicking the link for the custom knife page. Thanks for watching.
Hope to see you at the next knife show and tell.